Well, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Terrence Steedman. I am a master's student here at WSU. I also got my undergrad at WSU, and currently I'm studying sustainable issues.
And what is your major specifically?
I am an architectural design master's student.
Perfect. So I'd like to ask you a few questions about the WSU campus today.
Sounds good.
What would you say your favorite building in an architectural sense is on campus?
In an architectural sense, I have to say one of my favorite buildings is the new art building. It's the one with the crimson facade, and it has the
The large glass.
yeah, the large glass one. And I like it for a few reasons. First of all, it's designed by Olsten Kundig, which is a famous designer out of Seattle, and that one-of-a-kind glass is actually really cool for reflecting as well as representing the campus as a whole, just in its color. The inside is also very specifically maintained for the art in which it occupies it, and it's really cool to get all the heating, ventilation, and cooling systems to work properly and to correctly store the art. It's really hard to make that look elegant, and they did that quite effectively.
Okay. And of course, what is your least favorite? Like the ugliest or the most incorrect?
Yeah, I would say my least favorite building would have to be the Multicultural Center, specifically because the program that is represented in that building is really not to what I think university standards are. We actually had a class my third year where we debated it, and my viewpoint was that there's no multicultural center that exists naturally within a city. It's an artificial program or an artificial way of making a building in order to achieve sort of what somebody would call like a greater unity. But I feel like the cultural center that already exists is the Cub, because that's where all of the clubs and all of the multicultural fraternities and all of the other organizations are meeting and congregating on that upper floor of the Cub. So really, to put that down on the bottom of the hill and to spend so much money even when a lot of people are not using it, there's actually a whole commercial kitchen that exists in there that I don't believe that many people are allowed to touch. And in order to, it's just an empty space of a building that doesn't really have a use yet. And all buildings, I believe, should be designed with purpose. Another thing that I really don't like about that building is the fact that they designed with curves. Sure, curves are good and fun to play with, but if you look at the paint of that building and if you look at the execution of the building, you can find that a lot of corners were cut in construction as well as design. And really, I don't think that holistically represents our architectural community that we have here at WSU.
All right. And what would you say is a building that does not get enough attention? Like something that's just kind of on the wayside that's really interesting?
That's really interesting. I would have to say that Packard Hall is a really, really cool building. I've looked at the plans of that building. They're very eloquently drawn, as well as the passive systems that it uses in order to heat and cool the building, which relies on less energy. Also, just the way in which it's formed, it's a very natural form. Not necessarily natural, but it's a very archetypical form, but they do it in a nuanced way, and they do it when you can actually look at the building and sense the feat of engineering that it is, which is really nice. I mean, it's all the way far out, but if you ever do decide to go hike out there, it's actually pretty cool.
All right. Well, thank you for answering these questions.
Yeah.